Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode six. I don't know why I said that. Episode 86 of the weekly Rise Up and Share Your Soul's Medicine podcast. My name is Lisa Espinosa, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. I am a life coach, a spiritual coach that helps you connect with your soul every day, not just when you're on vacation or you're on retreat or you're having a really special moment. And in that moment, you can hear your soul so clearly. Or also not when you're in a crisis or some really intense situation, because sometimes those are the times when we can also really tune into our soul. I'm not dismissing those times, those are all important. But really, what we're here to do as humans, as divine beings having a human experience, is to be able to connect with our soul's guidance every day. In fact, to let that be the default so that our soul is guiding our life. And so that's what I help my clients with. And I help them do that by creating emotional safety. And what does emotional safety mean? Some people misunderstand that. It doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to feel good all the time. No, emotional safety means that you've developed the skill of creating safety within yourself no matter what is happening and no matter what feelings arise, so that your feelings don't scare you anymore. And I coach a lot of wellness professionals, other coaches, other healers. And when you're following your soul's guidance, your soul is going to guide you to take some pretty courageous steps. And many that are going to stretch you past your comfort zone. They're going to stretch you. That's what our life is about. And when you're stretched past your comfort zone, it can feel vulnerable, and that's very normal. And so the key is to have that daily connection with your soul and learn that practice of creating emotional safety so that you can feel all those feelings that come up: vulnerability, fear, insecurity, all of the things, and do it anyway and take the steps anyway. Hello, welcome. And I want to say I do offer a free breakthrough consultation. If you go to my website, I also put it on the link here, lisaespinosa.net, under free session. And that's a 1 hour consult where I will, we'll start with a little quick meditation, tuning in. And then I will guide you through this process where I ask you some very specific questions to help clarify, okay, what is the block, or what is the next stretch and expansion for you? And what is the simple solution so that you can continue to move forward and share your unique medicine with the world? So you can read all about that session. I'll put the link. So today, what are we here to talk about? We're here to talk about when your soul feels far away. And so when your soul feels far away, this is really important because your soul is never far away. It can feel far away. So it can feel like my soul is far. I can't hear my soul's guidance. I can't feel my soul's love for me. I can't access my soul's genius answers, genius ideas. And that can feel very real. But what is really important to understand, to remember, because I really believe we all know this, is that your soul is actually never far away. Your soul is always with you. And yet there are things that can come in the way and kind of block that reception so that it can literally feel like your soul's on another planet. And sadly, sometimes that happens in the times where we need our soul the most. And so first thing to remember is what I just said, that your soul's never far away. That's an illusion. And it's really powerful to remind ourselves of that. And so and to really catch it, because sometimes it's so subtle, you might not even be conscious that you have a thought that's like, oh, my soul's really far away right now. Or we'll say things like, my soul is tired. Our soul never gets tired. We can get tired Absolutely. We can be tired. Our humanness can be tired. The different parts of us can be tired. Our inner children can be tired. But our soul is infinitely connected to source, whatever you call that, God, goddess, creator, creatrix. So your soul has infinite energy. So even though we say things like, my soul is tired, it's really uh, inaccurate. Your soul is not tired. So again, first thing is to remember, oh, if I'm thinking or feeling that my soul is far away, it's not actually true. But let me pause and go within and figure out what is in the way. Why am I having a hard time accessing my soul? And so, just to kind of remind you, why is it important to access your soul every day, throughout the day? Because your soul knows the divine plan of your life. Your soul knows what you're here to accomplish, knows the legacy, as you know, one of my teachers calls it, the legacy of love, knows the legacy of love you're here to build and create, knows the lessons you're here to learn, knows the gifts you're here to share. So of course, we want to be led from our soul every day, because your soul has a higher perspective. And again, part of the journey of life is remembering that and surrendering our ego, our intellect into the wisdom of our soul's guidance. And so, first thing that will be helpful whenever you're feeling, so my intention with this episode, when I planned it ahead of time, it was like, oh, I want this to be a resource for those times that we all go through. Because even though I'm teaching this, that happens to me too, that I'll have times where I just feel like my soul is so far. And I won't even be thinking that consciously, but that's how I'm behaving. So I want to give you these really specific process for you to snap out of it when you're feeling that, right? And I say that very lovingly and with so much compassion, because I know how real that can feel. So first thing you're going to remember is that it's an illusion. Like, spot it, like notice, oh my gosh, I'm acting as if my soul is so far away, as if I'm alone here. Then realize that's an illusion, because my soul is always with me, always. Not when you're acting good or things are going well, not only when things are challenging, always. And then you want to identify, what is the feeling or the thought? And they're both very connected, but some people it will be easier to identify the feeling. For some people, it might be easier to identify the thought, and it might vary depending on the situation. So you can ask yourself, okay, what feeling is really loud right now that is getting in the way of me actually connecting with my soul? So you might do that and notice, oh, it's the feeling of abandonment, or the feeling of overwhelm, or the feeling of rejection, or the feeling of being disappointed in myself. There could be countless things. Or the feeling of rushing. You know, sometimes when we're like rushing, we feel like we have so much to do. Our soul can feel so far away, when your soul is literally right there saying, hey, I'm here. I can actually help this go easier. So identify the feeling or identify the thought. So if you're having a hard time identifying the feeling, you might identify the thought. So even with that, the example I just gave, your thought might be, I'm so far behind. I have to hustle. I don't have time to stop and pause or meditate. I need to like get this stuff done. Those are many thoughts. But you can realize, ooh, those thoughts, that's creating that friction so that I cannot connect with my soul's guidance right now. Every thought creates a feeling, a vibration in your body. So those thoughts that I just said, I'm behind, I need to hurry, I need to catch up, I don't have time to take care of myself right now, or I don't have time to meditate right now, I don't have time to pause right now, probably create a feeling of urgency or anxiety or worry or nervousness. And so all of that is such a different frequency and vibration than your soul's vibration, right? Your soul has a frequency. Your soul also has a medicine, right? And I've talked about that before, the medicine that you're channeling from your soul's guidance, from your soul's um, essence. So when we're in that other very different vibration, it's just like we don't have the antenna to hear our soul. We're just like on different channels. It's like you're trying to tune in to a radio station, but your radio doesn't even have that frequency. And again, there's no judgment, because that's part of the courageous human experience. Your soul understands all of this, right? That you agreed to have this human life where things would come up that would create this feeling of unsafety or friction that would make it hard for you to access your soul's guidance. And so that's why we learn. And so again, what is the first thing? First, you remind yourself this is an illusion. No, first you notice when you're having the thought, my soul is far away, or the feeling. And then you're going to remind yourself, but that's an illusion because my soul is always, always with me. And then, depending on the situation, depending on you, you're going to ask, okay, what feeling or what thought is creating that friction, that static, that's making it hard for me to tune into my soul's guidance? And once you do that, you know, I'm not going to go into the whole process. Like, this is what I coach my clients with, right? At that moment, then what do you do? But this is something for you to use daily. So in that moment, once you identify the feeling or you identify the thought, ask your soul to help you soften that. You can ask your soul, okay, I'm really feeling anxious right now, or I'm feeling such a sense of urgency. I recognize that that's creating the static. Help me. And your soul will always help, whether it's by, if you're open to it, by filling you up with more of your soul's feeling of peace, whether it's by leading you to a resource. It could be listening to a podcast. It could be to something like this, or it could be to reading a book, or maybe your soul gives you this, like, pause right now and say a quick prayer, or pause right now and do a quick meditation. Like, it doesn't need to take a lot of time. I understand that, we're not living, if you're watching this, you're not, most likely are not living in a temple or an ashram or a convent where your whole life revolves around contemplation and meditation. I think many of us have had lifetimes like that, right? And I fantasize about that sometimes, like, oh, it'd be so nice to be in a temple somewhere where I could just meditate all day and pray and listen to my soul and be in nature. And that sounds so beautiful. And I'm not at all dismissing the importance of experiences like that if you can get them. But even if you can get them, they're not going to be forever. If this lifetime is asking us to be in the world. To share your medicine requires action steps, requires you to be amongst the people. Not that you have to, like Jesus said, be in the world and not of it. So it's very important that we come back to the simple, practical teachings, that you remember that you can do something as simple, because it really, with practice, doesn't take a long time for you to start to identify what's the feeling or what's the thought. That's such a powerful question. Like, really think about that. Next time maybe you're feeling that now, and you can really think, well, what is the feeling? What is the thought? And if you ever ask that and you're genuinely just stuck and you have no idea, ask your soul, beautiful soul, I don't even know what the answer to that is right now. Reveal it to me. And don't put any pressure that the revelation will happen in that moment. But there's something that happens when you even just ask your soul that is really amazing. And the more you practice this, the more it's almost like you become tenderized. You become, what is the word I'm looking for? It's like you start to recognize, I wrote about this in my book, Answering Your Inner Calling. You start to recognize how your soul speaks to you, right? So that you can start to, when you ask the question, even if you don't get the answer as a sentence or a word, you sense the answer, or you get an image that's the answer, or you just get a wave of peace that calms you down, which is amazing, because that's what we're ultimately looking for, to feel better. And so I really want to leave you with that, for you to remember that as you move forward through your day, as you know, particularly when you're taking those courageous steps to follow your soul's guidance, and you feel alone or isolated, when you clearly are feeling that distance from your soul, and how will you know if you feel that distance? You feel alone or isolated or unsupported, or you feel a lot of self-criticism, because your soul's never criticizing you, right? And then just follow this process that I just shared. So let's just take a few breaths and do just a quick inner dive. Go inside. As you breathe deeply, come into your heart. And welcome your soul. Remember, your soul is always with you, so you don't need to do any sort of elaborate invocation. I mean, it's nice to do that sometimes, but you could literally just say, "I'm here, soul, please talk to me." You don't even have to say please, because it's your soul's joy to always talk to you, communicate with you. So welcome your soul. And then just ask that question, where in my life right now am I feeling separate from you? Where in my life, particularly in your work, in your service, in your leadership, where am I feeling alone? Maybe it's so unconscious you haven't recognized that you're not making space for your soul to love you, to hold you, to guide you, to make things easier for you. It's just notice where in my life, where in my service, where in my leadership am I actually blocking your guidance? And then ask the question, what feeling or what thought is creating that block? What feeling or what thought is creating that block? And whether you heard the answer yet or not, ask your soul, help me. Send love, send healing to that thought or that feeling, so that I can have more access to you, to your love, to your wisdom, to your creativity, to your genius solutions. And with that, we bring the palms of our hands together and we bow to each other and our own heart. And we end with a namaste. Namaste, everyone. And so I'd love to hear how this is going for you. Feel free to share in the comments. Just as you practice this, what was surprising? What was easy? What was maybe more challenging? What feelings came up for you? What thoughts came up for you? What area did your soul say, hey, you're not even recognizing that I'm here and you're not utilizing me? So before we come to our end, a couple of reminders. I'll be back on Wednesday next week. I was away, so next week it'll be the same time. So every Wednesday here at 11 Mexico City time. And next Thursday is a free master class, how to get unstuck and in the flow of your career success. And you can replace the word career with leadership, service, soul's medicine, whatever word resonates. That is next Thursday. The replay will be available. And also, oh, there was another thing. Oh, as I was talking about in the beginning, the free breakthrough consultation. Please know at the end of that, I will share, if I feel we're a good fit, I will share the details of my 1 year coaching program, which really, it's just like I'm there as your mentor, your guide, to mentor you back into the wisdom of your own soul, right? It's not about me being the guru in any way. It's you're the guru, right? From darkness to light. You have that inner wise person, wise master within you. You are the way shower. But sometimes we can get overwhelmed in our own emotional static and burdens and not be able to access that wise self. All right, now I am going to pull a card for the group. This is from a new deck that I got, Wild Woman Rising. And so let's just see what is the final message, and then we'll be done. Wow. I love this. This is a new deck, so I'm excited about every card I turn around. I love them so much. So this is number 35. Hold true to your vision. Look at this woman with the octopus. Hold true to your vision. So this is one of the many reasons why it's essential to connect with our soul's guidance every day. Because where is that vision coming from? From your soul. Your soul has the vision, right? Your soul has a higher perspective. So it's so important to hold true to that. And that means connecting with your soul every day. And octopuses, I learned you can say that as a plural. It's also octopi, are so wise. They're just like so magical and otherworldly. So you might want to look into the unique characteristics of octopus. But there you go. Hold true to your vision. So that means like don't water it down. Hold true to it. All right. Bye everyone. I will see you next week. Talk to you soon.